What's up, people? Tony here, and welcome back to another episode of TTBurger Game Reviews. And this is part 2 of my Parasite Eve Series review. This is episode 145, part 2 of 2. I know I got the numbers mixed up last time, so I apologize for getting numbers mixed up in the last part. But it was 145, not 146, and part 2 of 2. We got a lot to talk about in this part here. But before we get started here, those of you who did not get the chance to see episode 145, part 1 of 2, well, if you didn't, this is what I have for you all, a TTBurger recap to show you all what you missed. In episode 145, part 1 of 2, I took a look at the original Parasite Eve for the PlayStation and gave it a 9 out of 10 because of how slow Aya moves and stuff like that. Like, Aya moves really slow, and the fact that some of the character models did not look very good with the big eyes in it, and more. So it's a great RPG and stuff. Just that some problems with it too, and also its length. It's a short game too for an RPG that can like be beaten in 10 hours. It's kind of small, but still like there's fun to be had there with Aya herself as she ventures through New York City to stop the Mitochondria incident. But today we're gonna be zooming ahead to the year 2000, around the time when the lifespan on the PlayStation was coming to an end. But this game here showed that the PlayStation itself still had some life left in it to still make some fantastic games. And this is the sequel to Parasite Eve, released in the year 2000. Like I said, we got it right here. This is Parasite Eve II by SquareSoft once again, released exclusively for the PlayStation. This game was not released in the PAL region for some reason, so those of you who live in Europe and stuff like that who never got the chance to even check this game out or know anything it's like, well, this is for you guys also, so be prepared. So yeah, just to let you know, there's no dumbness that comes in this game, so I'm just saying there, so I'm just kind of getting off top there, so let's get started. Now, when Parasite Eve II was first announced, it was actually had some weird development cycle where it was actually supposed to be a spin-off game where you play as a character named Kyle Madigan roaming through the Mojave Desert and stuff, that they're trying to stop the Neo-Mitochondria incident and more. And but unfortunately that was scrapped like 50% way through the game because I guess a new development team took over and they wanted to just make it a flat-out sequel. And I'm glad it became a sequel, because if it was just a spin-off, it probably would not have been as popular as it was. And a lot of people don't like this game because the gameplay, the style of the gameplay is much different than it was in the original Parasite Eve. Like, this time they made it like Resident Evil instead of like an RPG. They basically considered Resident Evil with some RPG elements in it and stuff, and people did not like it because I guess there are people who didn't like change, but the truth is, I like that they made the game like this, and I know I'm gonna get some hate for this, and I do apologize there, but I like this game better than the original Parasite Eve. I like the story better, I like the graphics better, I like the gameplay better and stuff like that, and I like pretty much almost everything about it, but not above some of its flaws and stuff like that, and such is what I'm trying to say. But for the most part, yeah, Parasite Eve 2 is a better game in my opinion. And I don't think it gets, in my opinion, it does not deserve the hate it gets. It doesn't, because it's a great game. I mean, you gotta expect, you can't expect the sequel to be exactly the same, just take place in a different location. No, it's gotta be something different. And SquareSoft here proved that they made a great game here and stuff. But I'm talking iron love. Let's get started. The story in the game takes place 3 years after the original Parasite Eve. Like, after the Mitochondria incident and stuff that took place in New York City, Aya has now moved to California, where she's now a member of M.I.S.T, which is M.I.S.T, which stands for Mitochondria Investigation Strategy Team or something like that. I forget what the S was for, but yeah, she's a member of M.I.S.T now, trying to hunt down mitochondria and find the cause of it and more. The first part of the game, the first 20 minutes of the game takes place in the Acropolis Tower in downtown Los Angeles. But and then we come across our first main villain there and stuff. And it has some reminiscence of the first game where it talks about Eve and stuff like that, and the Mitochondria incident and stuff there. And then for a big part of the game, it takes place in the Mojave Desert, and then like it takes place in like this shelter, and then like this lab and stuff, which I don't want to spoil much there because I don't want to give away too many details, but like the story is basically like Aya's trying to stop this incident once and for all. And along the way, she meets her partner Kyle Madigan, who was supposed to be the main character of this game. He was supposed to be a spin-off, but instead he became a supporting character instead. And I like that he became a supporting character instead because Aya Bria, much cooler in my opinion, much cooler. And I'll talk a little more about the story here, but like just basically follow the storyline and what kind of obstacles you gotta take to get there to defeat this once and for all. This game has 3 endings this time, and I'll talk about the endings later on in the gameplay. But we'll talk about that later on, like I said. But getting back on track here. For the game's graphics look fantastic for a PlayStation game. Like this was like a late PS1 game that was released in 2000 when the PlayStation 2 was on its way here, and the graphics look great. They actually improved over the first game. The character models are my favorite part of the game. No more characters with big ass eyes. Here they look a lot better, and they look more like humans and stuff too. They gesture really well, they animate well, in fact like they move well too. We also have, once again, the pre-rendered backgrounds, which also look great, especially the Mojave Desert setting. That part looks the best. Like, it's a huge-ass desert. I mean, sure, a lot of people didn't like how it was just basically sand and everything like that, but when you're in the desert, it's gonna be that way. It was like that when I went to the Grand Canyon in 2004, where it was a lot of dirt and sand and all that stuff. So yeah, you're in the desert, and they made it look like a desert, and it looks like a fantastic looking desert with a lot of buildings and stuff in it too. And so yeah, that's what I'm saying there. That like this game here, like it definitely improves. It definitely does well with the graphics, and also it's got some great looking pre-rendered CG cutscenes too, which also look fantastic, better than they did before with the updated character models, and that's good too. The frame rate once again runs at a very smooth 30 frames per second, no 60 frames again, but still it was a PlayStation game. 30 frames was the way to go, and the frame rate is very smooth here, definitely. Sound I gotta say I enjoy as well. There's no voice acting once again. It's basically just silent with text and stuff with music in the background. Now the music here, some of the music I did not like, but most of it I did enjoy. Like a lot of people I know hated the music here, especially the one for the Mojave Desert and stuff in the daytime. But I like the Mojave Desert songs here. I mean, I like it. I mean, it feels like a Japanese RPG with an American setting to it, and that's what they did there. And I really like how they were able to do that with the game. Like I like the graphics, I like the sound, and everything like that. And like, although I wish there was voice acting because this was a late gen PS1 game, still, I mean, like with how much content there was on the discs, I can understand why. I mean, there actually is very small voice acting. I should say, like I didn't count it, but like, there are a couple lines that are spoken, but it's very rare. Like only 3 or 4 lines of dialogue are spoken. But that's just me, though, in my opinion. Though it's just like it's both basically silent, like a colored silent movie and stuff, and that's basically what it is with the sound. The gun sound effects, like your weapon sound effects, have also improved too. Like I will admit that like the guns did not sound the greatest in the first game. Here they sound like actual realistic weapons there, and it's badass too. There is what I'm trying to say. But that's talked enough about the sound. Now we get into the meat of this game, the gameplay. The gameplay is fantastic, and I think they did a great job changing it around instead of it being a copy and paste of the first game. This time the game plays more like a horror Resident Evil game with RPG elements in it and stuff, which a lot of people didn't like because they thought it was fine the way it was, and they just didn't like how it had dated tank controls and everything like that. But truth is, the tank controls are fine. I didn't have any problem with these dated tank controls here, what they call it. I mean, it's like Resident Evil. I mean, sure, they're dated and stuff, and they're maybe a little stiff at times there, but still, they're fine. And hell, it even supports DualShock analog controls as well, like the first game did. So, those of you who don't like holding down a button to run, you can just use the analog sticks. But me, I actually preferred using the D-pad because I'm fine with using the D-pad in the game here because like it was perfectly fine. I had no problem with it, so that's just me though. I mean, using the D-pad was fine. I don't mind holding down the circle button and stuff because like my thumb does not get sore because I have a double jointed left thumb, so I was fine with using those tank controls there. And of course, like there are also the fixed camera angles too, which I will admit, yeah, it's kind of a little pain in the neck there, but still, I'm okay with it. This game there wasn't really much of a problem here when it comes to the camera or the controls here. It's fine. I mean, sure, it's not going to be like Resident Evil. I mean, sure they try to make it look like a Resident Evil and stuff, but still, you can't expect everything to be like how it was. I mean, SquareSoft wanted to make changes, and they did here. But I'm kind of rambling on here. The combat, the battle system here is different this time. One thing I like is that you can actually see the enemies that you're about to face, and once you aim your gun or get close to them, that's when the battle starts kicking up here. And this is one of my negatives here about the game. Some of the enemies are very aggressive and ruthless. Like, they're like, a lot of them will just charge you, not give you a chance to like attack, and you'll fall down and die. And there's no revives here too, like how there was in the first game. So be prepared. If you don't like dying, this game will not be for you. And like, I should mention here also that like the difficulty in this game can be ruthless at times, especially with some of the boss fights and some of the enemies here. Like, the difficulty can be brutal because and they did this and SquareSoft did this on purpose because because of the way like how some of the puzzles are too. You have to solve puzzles here too, which it's very hard to figure out how to solve the puzzles without a strategy guide here, and that's why they did this. They did this so it could boost sales for game guides, so people have to go out and buy the games, which I'll admit is an interesting idea, but some people couldn't afford to buy game guides, so depending on how much money they had. So, and there was no, and the internet that wasn't as big as it was then with no broadband, so that like internet wasn't the thing like how it is today and stuff. So you had no choice but to go out to buy the game guides. So it was either that or you were stumped unless you knew someone who had a fast internet connection or so that you could print out a walkthrough and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I will admit, I do agree with people on that when they said that the difficulty was very brutal at times, just with some of the boss fights. But it's not it's not a game killer at all. It's not a game killer, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, this is a game that you can get past fine, and if you can get past it fine, then you'll have no problems here. The game is actually a little bit longer than the first game. Like the first one was only about like 8 to 10 hours. This one is about like around 10 to 12 hours there. So it's actually a longer game, in my opinion, yeah, and stuff. And of course, like, you have an abundance of weapons to choose from. You go buy weapons from like when you're at the M.I.S.T headquarters, or you find this guy Douglas who's in the Mojave Desert who sells weapons, ammo, and more. And you'll find a lot of weapons here, like an assault rifle, a shotgun, a grenade pistol, this handgun that has 100 rounds in the clip, which is be a rapid-fire handgun, which is almost like a machine gun, like almost kind of reminds you like an Uzi at the same time there. And of course, like you can find armor too and stuff and more and more. And one cool thing I like is the product placement of Coca-Cola. You'll find they did this quite a bit here in the game where they'll have like product placement for Coca-Cola. Like, I mean, I know it doesn't affect the game or anything like that, but I kind of think it's cool to see Coca-Cola machines and Coca-Cola cans and bottle caps and stuff. I mean, Coca-Cola is in this, and if you and stuff, and, you know, I don't drink soda anymore and stuff. People who like Coca-Cola, heck, drink the Coca-Cola while you find the pop machines in there and stuff, and find the bottle cap. So that's cool too, to have product placement for Coca-Cola in there, and that's awesome. And you'll be spending a lot of time in the Mojave Desert, like I said, a lot of time in the desert. Like, it's cool. I mean, and of course, like, further down the line, you'll learn more stuff about the game and stuff, but yeah. But now I'm going to have to get to my main complaint about the game, my main complaint. I already mentioned a couple of complaints here, but I'm telling you the main complaint is that there is a lot of backtracking in this game to get further in the game and to get the best ending. You will be doing a lot of backtracking. If you don't like backtracking in this game, then this game is not for you. I mean, I will admit, I hated having to go back to like a certain area just to get more stuff or just to go see Douglas or so, or to get the best or do requirements to get the best ending. That is annoying there, which a lot of the backtracking is just blah. Thank God there's a lot of save points placed time. Like, once again, the save points are telephones that you pick up like it was in the first game. I didn't mention that, but still, yeah, like, it is an annoying part that doesn't kill the game, but just that I never have a problem with it that much, but I know people don't like the backtracking games, have to go all around trying to find stuff. This will be a turnoff for you, but if you can look past it, then you should have nothing to worry about. But aside from that, though, there isn't much else to say. I mean, I don't know why this game gets all this hate and stuff, but it's a great game. It's better than its predecessor, in my opinion. I mean, like, better story, better characters, and like better backgrounds and like setting stuff. I mean, what more could you ask for? I mean, I don't know what more you could ask for, but me, I liked it. It was cool, definitely. And if you can find this game, go ahead and look for it. But I should warn you, both the games are pretty pricey, especially the second game, because these are RPGs by SquareSoft. The prices went up. Like, they've gone up quite a bit and stuff like that. They've gone up quite a bit. Like, you'll be spending over $60 and stuff. Maybe sometimes some places you'll be spending over $100 for the second game. So that's kind of a nitpick there, but that's just me though. But if you can look past those problems, get yourself a better game, in my opinion, and what I'm trying to say. So what's my final thoughts, my final rating, my final verdict here, whatever you call it? Pick Parasite Eve 2 up. It's an awesome game. If you want some more Parasite Eve action, this is the way to go. I have some complaints here, like I did with the last game, but it's a better game in my opinion. Giving it a score of a 9.5 out of 10, it's the way to go. So definitely pick up Parasite Eve 2 if you want some more Parasite Eve action. Both these games are excellent for its time. Both of them are. I mean, this one plays more like an RPG, and this one plays more like a survival horror game with RPG elements in it. So whether you like both genres or one genre or another, still pick both up. I recommend them both, is what I'm trying to say. And I know people are probably wondering, what about the third birthday, released on the PSP PlayStation Portable back in 2011? The answer is, I am not touching that game. That game sucks. It pretty much has nothing to do with Parasite Eve. It basically is just a third-person shooter where you like go into other people's bodies and use a disguise like that and stuff. And the plot is just all over the place and just not worth it. And like, me not being a fan of portable games, I kind of gave up on portable gaming because I was just kind of not getting interested anymore. It's only on the PSP too. But even if it was on the PS2 or PS3 or whatever, it still wouldn't be worth it because the game is just, the third birthday is just not that much fun. All the characters are assholes. Aya Bria's personality has changed. No spoilers, please, because I'm sure people know why her personality has changed like that, but no spoilers, please, if those who comment there. So, the third birthday is not worth it. Third birthday is not worth it. They should have just made a regular Parasite Eve 3 for the PlayStation 2, and everything would have been fine, but no, that wasn't the case there at all. But that's pretty much all I gotta say here for my Parasite Eve franchise. This is my favorite. The Parasite Eve series on the PlayStation is my favorite PlayStation RPG of all time. And it's definitely worth the Parasite Eve series. Both of these are fantastic, and they can't get any better than that. They're definitely worth owning your collection of RPGs, PlayStation games, video games, and more and more. And it does suck that they're not getting a PlayStation 2 sequel, like a third game, but still. You can't always have everything. That's what I'm gonna say there. And that's pretty much it here. If you like what you see here, subscribe, like the video, comment down below. Join my Discord group, TTBurger Gamers United, because we're always looking for more people to join. And the link's in the description below, so feel free to check that out. And just check out more of the videos. There's more coming. There's more games are coming, and I take requests too. So if you want to see a request for me to review a game, comment down there too. And because believe me, I own a lot of games, and I don't mind reviewing games you guys enjoy and stuff like that, because it's my job to entertain my subscribers and entertain the fans of YouTube and people who like video game stuff, and that's what I do here. I do this for you guys because you guys are awesome. You guys keep this channel going, and I'm looking forward to reviewing more games in the future, definitely. But all I gotta say, this is Tony. Peace out. Have a great day. See you all in episode 146. What will that part hold? Find out next. Which all I gotta say, peace out, everyone.